What's up, everybody? We discuss Marvel Legends, but before we get into that, just real quick, I want to fire off. This isn't a time to rip on anybody on the Marvel Legends team. That's no good. In fact, with Hasbro having just announced 1,100 layoffs, I was very glad to see that Ryan, Dan, and Dwight were still up there to talk to the rest of us. So, no ripping on those guys or anything like that. I don't mind picking on the product a little bit because Lord knows I do that. So make sure if you're watching this on the replay, just comment. Let me know what was your favorite part about the stream. What was your least favorite part of the stream? How about the figures? What did you dig? What would you like to see Marvel Legends improve upon? Or do you think they're already where they need to be? Just comment. Let me know the things. Those are some of the things we'll be discussing on tonight's live stream. And now, let's get to it. First off, Skew Raiders in the house. Hola, sir. Thank you for showing up. All right. Now, first thing I'm going to do right away, we're just going to start chatting because why not? I'm going to skip that crazy figure they had at the beginning because I have no idea what that was. But we do have Scott here. Now, here's the question. What do you guys think of this? What do you think of the fact that they're coming out with these figures for the X-Men 97 line and the fact that Scott here's kind of a repaint, basically a repaint, I think the head's different, of what they did before, but he's got the optic blasts. Are people stoked about that? Or people more like, oh man, I wish I hadn't bought it before? What does everybody think when it comes to this line? Oh boy. Gunstar, evening, sir. Thanks for showing up. Let's see. So yeah, that's what I'm curious about when it comes to these. Also, I want to ask another question here. Everybody should be cool with this because I think that it's sound, but I want to know what people think of the fact that they're doing the re-releases of the Iron Spider and the Iron Man figure that they are. I think it's a phenomenal idea, honestly. I think if those figures sold really well, it makes sense to get them out there again. And with the MCU kind of floundering right now, I think it's great to get MCU characters out there that people identify with and that people really enjoy. So what do you think of that? Personally, I'm totally on board. I even understand the marketing reasons for it. So yeah, let me know the chat. Now, Skew Raider, what do you have? Favorite, let's see, favorite part. Patch. Oh, Patch and Joe Fix It 2-pack for sure. That is my favorite part as well. I don't know if I've told you guys this. Wolverine number 8 was my very first comic book that wasn't Transformers. So I will have to get that too. And that's exactly why that's the image I used on the thumbnail. So yeah, I'm definitely stoked for that. Let's see. Some improvements. Let's see. Noted. Especially Civilian Wolverine and Sabretooth. Okay, let's see. What were some improvements that you saw with Wolverine and Sabretooth that you think could be done? And as you're answering, I'll just keep going through here. Personally, I think this Cyclops looks good. I understand why you re-release this stuff, especially when it comes to the fact that there's animated stuff coming out. There's the whole media support push behind it. And now we've got Maddie. And I want everybody to realize, because I've seen people talk about, hey, it's the Goblin Queen, it's Madeline Pryor. They said they would never release her after the HasLab didn't get funded. That's not really what they said. You gotta get yourself in the marketing person's head. The marketing person's job is basically this. They need to make sure that we know about the product. And when talking about the product, when they're facing the camera, they have to spin it to be the best possible thing, and they have to be very careful about how they speak about the product. No point did they say they would not release Madeline Pryor. They said they would not release that version of Madeline Pryor, which to me, even goes so far as to mean maybe they could one day release that same sculpt and just change the black to blue. So it's just very careful wording, because I know a lot of people were saying, hey, they said they could never do this. That's not what they said. But yeah, I think there's some new sculpting here. I think she looks fine. You know that my big problem when it comes to this stuff is the lack of a waist cut, especially when it comes to the females. the lack of a waist, anything. So that's one huge improvement that I would like to see happen with the line. And then Jean, who I think has a ball peg at the waist, but you couldn't prove it by the photos I saw. So if she does have it, it might be pretty limited. I think the face looks really good on her. I haven't seen much when it comes to the animation, so I don't know how accurate this is, but I don't mind it. But that's kind of the thing. I shouldn't not mind it. I should really be stoked about it. But on the other hand, I understand that the Marvel Legends team is working with a whole lot of constraints, including the fact that these figures have to be made for kids 4 and up that a lot of other companies aren't dealing with. That said, my wallet doesn't care about that, but I understand it. Let's see. Still hitting buttons. All right. Rexship, what on, sir? How's it going? Having fun? Let's see, what's going on and how's it going? I think I just asked you the same question twice. By the way, everybody, he sent me a message today and let me know that he has 50 of the Patreon backgrounds that I've made. And I'm going, wow, I had no idea I made that many. So that was pretty cool to hear. I was geeked about that. Let's see. Gunstar, favorite reveal, Brood Wolverine, man. Let's see, okay, hopefully that means we are finally getting the Brood. I would love to get the Brood. I think Marvel Legends would kill it with the Brood. I think they did a good job with Mojo. I never got the figure, but I think it looked really good. And I think they do the same thing there. I think that would be just incredible. But that Brood head sculpt, I was going through the Twitter feed today and Paul Harding did that head sculpt. And man, that looks so good. They need to have him doing a whole lot more. Now they just need to start making the bodies match how great those heads are a little bit, just a few tweaks. And I'd be a big fan. I'd probably come back to the whole Legends thing. All right. Rexship. See, the Marvel Legends stream today had both highlights and low points, in my opinion. I agree. I think that's true with almost all live streams, though, including this one. Let's see, Brood Wolverine needs to mean they're going to do more Brood versions of characters. Otherwise, it kind of feels like a weird one-off. It would feel like a weird one-off, but let's be honest, Wolverine's the X-Man that sells, so I get it. Still, it would be fun to keep going with that theme a little bit. Now, let's keep going here. We've got this Magneto. Now, Magneto here, I can see, I think, I haven't been paying enough attention to Legends this year, so I'm not 100%, but I think the biceps might be new just because there's a little bit of sculpting going on where the glove meets the skin. But I have to say, I do not like this look. I didn't like it in the comic. I'm not going to like it for X-Men 97. And it would be fine if he didn't have just these weird, long, like sock gloves that you think of with like Victorian era women just wearing the glove things, or maybe that's even 20s era. I don't know. I'm all over the place. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But I can see them totally redoing this figure and just giving him a head to give him the comic look. So I'll keep going. And then there's Kurt, and I know a lot of people want this figure. I had the first Nightcrawler that they did. It was pretty good, but what killed it for me was, of course, the waist cut. So he was one of the ones that got purged. And the great, I guess, Marvel Legends purge of, was it 2020 or 2021? It's been a couple years by now, but yeah, he's one of the ones that had to go. But I think the look was really good. The first one came like there were 3 total heads, I think a couple hands. He had his cutlass, but I really like the look of this one as well. All right. Skew Raider, liking most of what I've seen on the stream today. Awesome, awesome. That's good. I like to hear that people are digging what they're putting out. Right, Ship. I know they did Brood Build-A-Figure way back early on in Hasbro and Marvel Legends. I don't remember. I'm sure they did. I'm just trying to remember. I had gotten a lot of the Toy Biz Legends, and after the first wave of Hasbro, was like, yeah, I'm out, because that wave was so bad. So I missed a few years there of what they did, and that probably fell in that spot at some point. Rickshaw, are we gonna get? Well, let's see. Oh, Monk Nightcrawler from the cartoon. That'd be kind of funny. That one, and Wolverine finding, going to church. That one, like maybe him wearing a flannel, walking in. Maybe it could come with a pew. I don't know. That would be different, I suppose, but it could be entertaining. All right, let's see. And then we have Executioner. Now I remember, I'm trying to remember when Executioner's song was when it came to the comics. It's a long time since I read that story. If I even read, I must have, because I remember seeing it on the cover, so I must have read it. But clearly, it was kind of one of those forgettable things. Still, I think this looks good, if not a little. I mean, I know it's based on a cartoon line, so I'm not even upset about what I'm about to say. He looks like a cartoon character. So he just doesn't really float my boat at all because of that. But that doesn't mean he's not going to be perfect for what he's supposed to represent. Ooh. And then we get into the good stuff. Guys. Okay, hold on. Before I talk about Angel, what do we have, Skew Raider? With you on the waist cuts. Yep. That's the things. And if Marvel Legends went in and they made it so they had ball peg waist, and I know that's an expense, and it's one of those things that I don't know the numbers they're crunching in the background. I don't know all the little factors that go into it. It just feels like because they still have waist cuts, they're not keeping up with current action figures. Like Marvel Legends and Black Series as well, to me, feel like they're not kids lines because they're too pricey, but they're not necessarily collectors lines anymore because not keeping up with the articulation and paint and other things of other similarly priced figures. Like I got the Masters of the Universe cartoon He-Man the other day, and it was amazing to me how the stuff that should have been matte was absolutely matte, and the stuff that should have been a little shinier was absolutely a little shinier. And it was an $18 figure, and I'm like, okay, that was the thing that surprised me. I put this in my all the socials today saying one thing is obvious that I wish they'd do. And one you guys know had to do with the waist cuts, but then the finish, because as I was watching the live stream, the characters or the figures they had on stage actually looked like maybe the finish had been dulled down a bit on some of them, and they looked really good. And I'm hoping they can do that. I feel like there are two big steps from taking Marvel Legends back to really collector grade figures, and it's working on the finish, and it's getting rid of the waist cut. But they've started adding hands, they've started adding heads, they're getting more accessories. So I think they're on their way. I'm just hoping those two things happen. Wreck Ship. Those wings look really good. Man, you know what I was hoping for when Dwight stood him on the table and he folded them down? I was hoping that he just tilt them back a little bit, just so we could see how he was standing there with them. Because yeah, I think they crushed it with those wings. That really made me happy. Like that smile on my face. But Dwight tends to. He also had Black Widow in his stuff, so I was Team Dwight all the way today. Skew Raider, Angel Fire. Yeah, man, this figure. Oh, he looks good. I mean, they knocked it out of the park with this thing. And like I say, if his finish is really good, ooh, he's gonna be one to watch. And I'm looking at it right now, a little closer up on the screen. Yeah, it looks like he was probably hit with very harsh light, but it's not glossy, so maybe the finish will be okay. On the other hand, maybe this is just a prototype, so who knows? Yeah, I think they knocked it out of the park. Can't wait for the inevitable blue version. And then if he had a blue version with the Warren head and a blue version with the Archangel, because I think that was around for a little bit. And of course, the metal wings. Like, imagine if they did these wings Archangel style. Ooh, that would be nice. Let's see. Ooh, then we have Sam Cap. And Sam Cap looked good. He is, from what it sounded like, and I don't know, I actually never had this one. It sounds like he's just a straight up re release, but with a new shield with better deco. and with the wings. And I think he looks good. Like I can't fault him for how the guy looks. He looks like a big kind of bruiser kind of Cap. Looks tough just because of the build of him. Like his legs look massive, his shoulders are out quite a bit. He looks like a tough dude. You don't want to mess with Sam. Yeah, and there he is coming down. Excuse me for a second. I still have like this cold just holding on, and it's driving me crazy. The recent Hiss Tank video I did took a lot of time, and I've been trying to get a lot of sleep, and that wasn't happening because of that. It made me sad. There were tears. There weren't really tears. Let's see here. Skew Raider. Yep. Falcon Cap looks good too. Reuse a previous one. That's what I thought. That's what it sounded like to me. I just wasn't 100% on that. But yeah, I think the colors and everything are really good on this. I don't know if when it comes to the re-release, it was straight up good, like if it's a straight up color reissue as well. But I think he looks good, man. I'm hoping they are, like I said, they're giving him more hands, they're giving him more accessories and heads. They just need to fix that waist cut. And probably, and only because I picked up an $18 Motu figure, am I sitting here saying, ooh, I really hope they work on those finishes, even though a lot of the figures I have great finishes too. I don't know why the $18 figure made me think that. And then we've got Hydra Cap. Now, I don't know about the rest of you. I couldn't have a Hydra Cap in my collection. It just wouldn't feel right unless I had like an awesome Cap just beat the cap out of him. Ha ha! I shouldn't talk. But anyway, yeah, there's this guy, and he looks great. He looks perfect for what he's supposed to represent. He's got the waist cut, but still, I mean, I can't fault it. I can't fault working with the constraints that I think the Legends team works with. I think what they did here was as good as they could have possibly done. I think he looks really good. Now, one thing I do question, though, how does this Cap really throw his shield? That looks like it's going to more impale somebody than knock them cold. On the other hand, if you throw the circular shield really hard, that's not going to end up well for somebody either. Yeah, we can talk to U.S. agents about that. More buttons. Wreck ship. Hydra Cap just isn't that exciting, to be honest. Yeah. I think he looks good, though. I mean, I do think he looks good. He's perfect for what he's supposed to be. Skew Raider, that's reasonable. Original Cap can can beat Hydra Cap all day. I can do this all day. Yeah, he can. Oh, good Lord, I miss the old MCU. Not saying any of the new stuff or all the new stuff's bad. It just isn't hitting me like the older stuff used to. Okay. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the pack I will get no matter what. This is the thing. This is the necessary. This is the needed. Oh, what have I done? Oh no, I pushed the wrong button on the necessary one. Okay, wait a sec. Here we go. Whew. Me and technology clearly don't mix. Okay. Again, my first ever comic book was Wolverine Volume 2, Issue number 8, which was these guys against a blue cover. And that's why the thumbnail is the way it is. I don't even know that I'll take these two out of their package. What I might do is buy them and put them on a shelf in some kind of grand display. Maybe even get like a glass case for them and just stand them there. Have nice lights coming down on them. Yeah. And the funny part is the waist cut wouldn't bother me so much on these, or doesn't bother me so much on these because it's hidden like it is. But man, yeah, I'm going to need this set. So tell me, everybody here is going to buy that set so they know we just need more versions of Patch and Joe Fixit. Yeah, that's what you guys got to say to me. Ooh, we've got an angry Joe Fixit. How about this? Got that book. And it was one Halloween. One of the houses was giving out comic books. And I got like 5 comic books. This is the one that grabbed on that I remembered. and I don't remember anything about the story, but that cover is such a big deal. And Patch Wolverine owning the Princess Bar. I'm sure it must have taken some place in the Princess Bar. Yeah, this is the set. This is the set that I have to get, no matter what. Wreck ship. I'd rather have Captain Hydra that's in the green and gold armor as my Hydra cap. I had that one. What was it? What happened? Well, I mean, I sold him, but his shield kind of got pressed a little bit, but that just happens with all those stinking peg or those little clasps that they have that go around the arms. Yes. Skew Raider Dream 2 pack. It could be better on Fix It Body, but let's see. I love it because it's a favorite cover for me too. Awesome pick. Madripoor won't know what hit him. Yeah, man. Oh, Madripoor. I need to. One of my first backgrounds that I designed, I had Madripoor in mind, like the whole low town, high town. I need to revisit that idea because I mean, especially now that these guys are coming out, we need some more Madripoor in our lives. I think so. I need to make that happen. Yeah, these are what it's all about for me. I mean, legit, the first real comic book I remember getting other than Transformers, and it led me into a lifelong obsession. I mean, Wolverine is probably my favorite character. I mean, he's constantly fighting with like Superman and Batman and Captain America. But when it comes to comics, those four tend to be there. They tend to be the guys, which is kind of funny because Superman and Batman are kind of opposite. Wolverine and Captain America are kind of opposite. Hopefully, I land in the middle somewhere. But yeah, that's a pack that I'll be getting, no doubt. And then here we go with that Brood Wolverine and Lilandra. And I'm a big fan of what they've done with Lilandra here. I would like her to have a little bit of a waist. Like if she just had a ball peg at the waist, she would be just about perfect. In fact, I would say she would be perfect. I would never need another Lilandra, but she looks really good. And I love the work that they put in on that Wolverine. I mean, the sculpting that they're doing on this stuff now is so good. It's so good. Like I wondered if the lines that they showed on her was going to be just black paint, but no, they actually sculpted it in, which looks great. At least in this promo pic, it's obvious that the silver color is at least a different finish than the black on her. And so my hope is that the silver is kind of like the Silver Surfer silver, and then everything else is kind of dulled down. My real hope is, even if it's not that, though, it's not just gray plastic, because Lilandra looks really good. And the way the light's hitting her here, I don't think it would just gray plastic. So hopefully I'm right with that. Ooh, yeah, man. That Brood Logan, like, look at his arms. They even sculpted those out. And I'm wondering if Harding did that as well. But he crushed it on that head sculpt. That makes me so happy to see. It's probably not something I'll get. Ooh, I don't know. When I look at that, I am tempted. But yeah, look at the arm here. Look at the bicep. Like yeah, bicep. Good Lord, me and words. Yeah, look in that area. Look at all the little lines that are cut into that to get the whole Brood look. And I even thought to myself for a little bit, I'm like, wait a second, why is the top of his head brown? And then I looked up pictures, and it's fairly inconsistent of even what that head should look like. So I decided I'm good with the brown head at the top there. But yeah, that is such a gnarly head sculpt, and it's so good. And the work they've done on that Wolverine is so good. I was curious about the belt, I have to say. I was hoping that that was a yellow or a gold buckle, but I think it's more like a shiny tan or maybe like a shiny brown. So wasn't quite going to work. I was considering grabbing him just to use it on my Mophex Wolvie, but this looks remarkable. They did a great job. And there you go with the look there. And you've got Lilandra on black. And you got Lilandra fighting Brood Wolverine on white. Woo, look at her. Lilandra, going ninja style. But yeah, check out those lines. You can see in the helmet how they're engraved in there, or sculpted in there, not just going to be paint or black paint. And I honestly think that looks better than what I was seeing from the renders they were initially showing. Man. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say when it comes to that thing. It's glorious. I mean, I know that I could sit here and say waistcut, and he's got a belt that kind of helps hide the waistcut. But then I'd feel like I had to sell Lalandra because even as great as she doesn't have anything at the waist. These are the fights I constantly have with myself, people. Skew Raider, what do we have here? I will love this set. Patch and Joe for the win. Yeah, that's the one. I mean, everything I saw, that's the one that I have to get for sure. See, Brood Wolverine does look great. Lalandra too. Yeah, I mean, again, I know that they're working with constraints. My wallet doesn't care about those constraints, so I'm not going to pick up the vast majority of this stuff. But working within the constraints that they're probably working in, I think they're crushing it. I mean, the sculpt work that they put on this thing, it looks really, really good. And it's mostly just a reused Wolverine body. But those arms and that head make such a huge difference. Yep, we have more. Now this, I never read the Siege Perilous story. So I got into X-Men around, it was 273 of Uncanny was my first issue. And in that issue, it had Wolverine on the cover with a whole lot of other mutants. There were a ton of artists that worked in that issue, working basically with their own team. So X-Force was in there, the X-Men were in there. I can't remember if New Mutants were in there or X-Factor. Basically, it was just a huge book with a ton of characters, and that was my introduction to the X-Men. So that was just after when the Siege Perilous and all that stuff went down. But I have to say, this look for Betsy is really good. And I'm seeing this, it looks like the legs, at least what looks like metal almost, is going to be shinier than, or I guess for her it would be armor, is going to be shinier than the rest of the outfit. And I think that looks good. And Wolverine as a ninja, I think the head sculpts on this Wolverine are really good too. So I'm kind of geeked about those. That is one thing that, as much as I love the Mafex, his masked heads are awesome, but his unmasked head, I just don't know about. I do prefer these unmasked heads more so. But if I were to pick this setup, like spending $50 so I could get a couple heads, and that just doesn't make much sense, though I might track them down on eBay. Yeah, look at that. And it's really hard to get, I found Wolverine's head right, at least what my mind's eye is of right. But I think he's pretty close with this one. Gonna take another swig. But yeah, I mean, I think of Vestry art, I think of Lee art and all that, and I think of like my favorite comic artists of all time when it came to Wolverine was Lenil Francis Yu and Mark Texeira. Texiera. I never knew quite how to pronounce that, but they both knew how to get the grittiness into Wolverine, especially Tex. But Lenil Francis Yu, he killed it. Like the line work that he did with Wolverine and how vicious he made him look. At the same time, it was really clean. I don't know. There was something about the way the art was done by those two guys that I would love to see head sculpts that were modeled after their stuff, or Lee's, or Silvestri's, and I'd be super stoked. But I think this comes very close to my mind's eye, and that's good because a lot of them don't. Skew Raider, what do you have here, sir? Only getting Patch and Joe. Let's see. Cut back on Legends. That set is fire. Yeah, that's the one. Like I said, that I'm a big fan of. But you know, I'm trying to sit here. I think I can appreciate the work when you understand that they've got constraints that they have to go with that we will never know about. I think it makes it easier to at least look and appreciate what there is we have. I'm just hoping that in the future, some of those constraints lift, such as being allowed to do a ball peg at the waist and being able to match the finishes a little better. But I mean, the sculpting, I think they're sculpting better. I think they're getting more accessories, which makes me happy with the hands and the heads. Those are the last two things. Just that ball peg and match those finishes. And if I'm honest, if they hit the ball peg, I'll probably start buying again. But matching those finishes, oh, that would be the candy coating on the top. That would make me happy. Because, yeah, I think she looks great. And then here we go. As much as I'm going to sit here and say, I really don't think I'll get this pack, I don't know because don't like the fact that they've got the waist cuts, but that saber tooth is something I don't know that a company like Mofex will do correctly. They're going to do Bane, and I think they'll do him well. And Sabretooth should probably be a little smaller than Bane, but I don't know that they'll give him the beef that he needs to have when it comes to Sabretooth anyway. On the other hand, Bane looks beefy. I don't know. I don't know. Like, this is probably the most well-known version of Sabretooth, and so it would be good if we got him like this across the board. Like if Mofex made him, maybe even if Mezco took a crack at him, he's good stuff. And that Wolverine, I think the Wolverine looks pretty good too. It's just kind of a different look for the man. Yeah, look at that thing. The head sculpts again are crazy. The fur on his back is crazy. The hands, I don't know if the hands are new. In fact, I'm not sure what all is new here. I mean, I know the head's new. I think that fur's new. I know the legs are old just because I saw pinholes in them. But man, yeah, that head sculpt is really good. Sorry, I'm kind of geeking out at the same time. I'm checking you guys. There's a good shot. Probably used a little bit of wire to set up Wayne in the air. That, or he was able to balance Wolverine on the hand and the arm, which is a possibility. That could have happened because I think, well, I don't know. I should say, I can't presume to know exactly how Shooting the Galaxy did this, but it kind of looks like he could have been balanced like that. I don't know. How about it? We're supposed to be looking at the figures, and I'm trying to figure out how the setup works there. Skew Raider, let's see. The Wolvie head is awesome too. Tempted. Civilian Wolvie and Sabretooth might get that too. Fire as well. Yeah, I agree. I think they look great. And that Sabretooth, another one. There's so many that Legends is doing now that with that ball peg waist would be perfect. So that's kind of those things where I'm going, oh man, guys, you're so close. You're so close to getting my money. But if they're getting everybody else's money, they don't need to worry about my money. Let's see. Gunstar was hoping for a brown suit Wolverine update, but we got 3 Wolverines I didn't know I wanted. Yep. They'll do that. And I do think it's about time they re-released a brown suit. The last one was, I think it was the first real retro wave they did. And I had him and I had the one from the Juggernaut wave, but the browns didn't match, and that always drove me crazy. I wish that Legends paid more attention to that thing, where like all the blues, like the blues on all the Captain Americas matched, all the browns on the brown suit Wolvies, all the blues and reds on the Spideys, except of course when you're saying, hey, this one was from when Spidey had a lighter blue and all that. But I just wish they'd be more careful with the colors there. And maybe they are. Maybe it's a factory mix-up. I don't know. And it's not that I'm giving them a pass. I just don't have enough information. I wish I did. I wish I knew a lot more about this stuff because I find it oddly fascinating. And I'd really like to know all the rules that they have to try and circumvent because there are designers in there. They're trying to come as close as they can to breaking those rules without actually going over the line. Oh, yep. Wolvie wins. Although I find it odd that Xavier would have branded playing cards. Maybe, I suppose. I mean, you got to pay for that mansion somehow. And there we go. I mean, look at that. They both have extra heads. They both have extra hands. Wolvie's got the cards. And I'll be honest, Sabretooth maybe doesn't come with another accessory, but does he really need to? His weapons are his hands. So I'm not even upset about that. Throwing a ball peg waist. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the perfect Sabretooth. I think he looks really good. Maybe the shoulders, now that I'm looking at him, maybe the shoulders could be a little higher. But that's one of the things Anthony's Customs brings up a lot about these things are the shoulders being too low. But look at this Logan. I think those shoulders are about in the right spot. I love that he has two different color hats. We obviously have to go with the brown hat. I just think the black hat there doesn't quite work, but who knows? I am definitely no fashionista. Yeah, see, Shooting the Galaxy knows when it comes to these images, you try not to show off the waist cut. Man, and Wolverine there, maybe the waist cut's not such a bother because the shirt itself goes over the belt a little bit, so maybe it wouldn't look so rough. But yeah, that's kind of how you picture Logan when he's in his off days anyway. Yep, and I think that's it. We have, let me go and double check, but I think I've gone through everything. When it comes to the live stream, yeah, I think we're good there. Whew. So now we're going to go in. I'm going to go in, me with my royal we, and I'm going to get slightly shameless for a minute. Don't forget you can get this bad boy if you're watching right now and you don't have it. Go for it. There's a link in the video description. But today was Throwback Thursday. And so I set this bad boy up, and it's been quite a while since I've taken a look at this. But clearly it hasn't been all that long since I've been highly shameless and saying, hey, go get the free stuff, is because when I look at this, I'm going, oh, I used Cable to be kind of a jerk and be totally shameless as well. Yay me. But then today's Patreon freebie, and there's a link to all this stuff in the video description. I made lasers. So I made them in 4 different colors. If you have Photoshop, you can mess with the hue and saturation and make them whatever color you want. And they're totally free. So head to the Patreon page if you think you can use them. And if you have Photoshop, make sure that you set the layer that the lasers go to screen. That way the black will disappear. And all you'll be left with is the crazy laser light. And that'll be funsies. So that's what I've got for that. Oh, man. So let's see. We're pretty much stuck here, guys. I know we've got displaying model behavior as a live stream going right now, so I certainly appreciate you guys stopping by here. And I think JC started with 7 too. It's always rough because I want to be careful. I don't want to step on toes, but it feels like displaying model behavior is kind of all over the place as to when he starts. And JC will just talk on days like today when live streams happen. And what really needs to happen is this. I'm going to need the Hasbro teams to start just having their live streams on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Fridays. Because if they be kind enough to do that, then I won't be doing a live stream those nights anyway. So if they could do those, then everybody else would have less of a chance of being up and talking about this stuff a little bit, which would make my life just way easier. But there is one more thing I got to talk about that's pretty cool. So I don't know if you guys know this. The first time I was on a live stream was on this channel called The DeLoreans. And it was just fun. It was the first time. I don't know about you guys. I don't know anybody in real life that gets really stoked about this stuff. And when I got on the DeLoreans live stream, we all started talking, and it was just so cool to talk to somebody else, other guys that were excited about this stuff. So it's a Spanish-speaking channel, and I don't speak a lick of Spanish. I took Spanish in high school. I can conjugate, if I can remember how, at least that would come back to me. But we didn't know how to speak it hardly at all. So they were kind enough to make sure that they had some guys on there that knew what was up and could talk to me, talk to everybody else, make sure everybody else understood what was going on. But it was simply a blast. And the reason that I bring that up is just to show you. Come on, share screen, do this, Dave. Boom shakalaka, is to show you right here that I will be on the Fatalorians live stream tomorrow night at 11 p.m. And yeah, I'm excited to talk to those guys again. It's been a while. So definitely check them out because they're just fun. See, Skew Raider, another awesome stream photo day. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Don't worry, I'm going to be on a little longer. We'll see what happens. Figure displaying model behavior usually goes for about an hour, so we might have some people trickling in here in a minute. Let's see. Ooh, hello, Lego Angel. Marvel Legends still made in China. You know, sadly, that's pretty much everything these days. You've got some that are, I believe there's non-factories as well, but it sounds like some of that quality wasn't very good. I wish that we had other places that were making this stuff because it's a little upsetting, but even when you look on other products from across the seas, they're still made in China as well. It would be nice if other factories got with it, but at least in the US, if we started making these things here, the prices would skyrocket because of everything that would go into the manufacturing and the cost of labor and all that. So while I would love to see it, I don't know that it would happen because this industry would die if everybody ended up having to pay those kinds of prices. So I do agree. I wish there were a better option, but I don't think it's out there right now. Skew Raider, awesome. Let's see. Return part 2. Fun watching you on there. Sweet, man. Sweet. Yeah. Hopefully you can check it out tomorrow as well. It'll be fun. But yeah, that's 11 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be me trying to stay awake. Woo. I think I can do it. I'm kind of on a funky sleep schedule right now. Good. Optimus Danger, thanks for showing up, man. Well, a lot's good. Let's see. I'm awake. I have some tea sitting here with some honey in it. I still have a little bit of the cold going, so that's why I was here. But tea with honey is always good. Also, I think the thing that most of us, at least that are in the chat, seem the most stoked about is, let's see if I can find this again. If I didn't totally close out the window, I might have. Let's see here. We'll stop this one. And well, I won't keep you trying to linger. We'll just find it. No, not that one. Oh, what have I done? This one. Here we go. All right, the thing I think we're all most excited about is this right here. At least me, for sure. This is my jam. This is my first ever comic book that wasn't Transformers. And even if I don't bust these things out of the package, I will have a very nice place to display them. They will be in some kind of place of honor at the Casa de Toypixx. But yeah, I love the look of these guys. And as I said earlier in the stream, the waistcut doesn't even bother me because it's hidden. So it doesn't bug me quite so much. For photos, we'll still be okay. Then yeah. Ooh, yeah, I can't wait for this. Simply based on that cover art. And that's probably, if I do open them, I'm totally going to just cut out a big piece of blue something and just stand them against it. And that'll be the whole deal. But yeah, they'll be pretty good. Let's see, what else do we have here that we can share? Let's see. Did those pop up for you guys, by the way? I think they did. Let's see. Bootleg. Let's see. Bootleg Mexican have a lot of quality than China. I wonder about that because I keep hearing that stuff's coming out of there and it's looking pretty good, but I'm not sure. I haven't tried any of it. Optimus Danger, you guys talked about McFarlane take over some Hasbro. Man, you know, I haven't talked about that yet tonight. It is curious. I mean, I do think that I watched some of JC the other night and he's spot on. I think Hasbro is moving toward a model where they want to license out a lot of their own properties. So I see it. It seems weird to me that they want to license out their own properties against what I would see as direct competition. So, like, he's going to be making money for them, but is he going to be making as much money for them as, like, had they just had the product themselves? Or are they only allowing him to do the small page punchers? Because I know it said page punchers, but I don't know that it said what size, like if he could only do the small 3-inch ones or not. So it's curious. I do wonder about that. The only way it's really going to work and benefit Hasbro, I think, is if they decide to just stop making one of their own IPs, or if he's doing things in scales and in different types of figures. What do they call it? Form factors. By the way, I hate jargon, but he uses different form factors with the license than what Hasbro is doing. I can see it working out kind of in Hasbro's favor because that's something they wouldn't do anyway. Where I think where I think Hasbro will really be in trouble is if they start licensing out Transformers that are allowed to be transformed, then Hasbro is totally out of the game when it comes to making their own thing. Let's see, not yet. All right, let's see. Legal Angel, let's see. Make figures with 3D printer. I would, man. I would. I need to get one though. I do. I'm curious about that. That might be the next thing for Toypixx. Is I might get a 3D printer so I can make some 3D files that people can use for free, of course, because it's me. But yeah, that would be fun. I was talking about that the other night. Like right now, I'm doing the backgrounds. I'm making, let's see, a bunch of the effects. I'm making, like, I made a couple graphics like Wolverine claw marks and stuff like that. But yeah, I think the next evolution will be a 3D printer and to start putting those files up on Patreon so people can grab those. Hello, LBZ. What's up, sir? Appreciate you stopping by. Skew Raider, they're doing page punchers. Let's see. Some peeps have suggested Mask too, maybe. You know, Mask would be great. There's a lot of those older properties that would be great. If Hasbro's not going to touch them, why not let McFarlane do it? On the other hand, I think one of the things that's hurting Hasbro is, and this is something that I don't hear discussed that much, they're not pushing newer things. They're not trying to get new properties out there. And they didn't know what to do with Power Rangers. They're in bed with Disney, and Disney stuff is not as well received as it used to be. It's not, I guess well received might be wrong. It is not as universally loved as it used to be. So, like, that's certainly going to affect Hasbro's bottom line, because if people don't care about the movies or the shows on Disney Plus, why are they going to buy the figures? But Hasbro is contractually obligated to produce the figures. So that doesn't help them out all that much either. So they need to bring out some new stuff. They need to get their own IPs happening again. I think we need to see a lot more of a push for Transformers to start upping their quality again, which I know would up prices. So I don't know. You got to be careful there too. They need to bring out, let's see, a big time 80s property for them was Gem and the Holograms, trying to appeal more to girls maybe. And they can update them fairly easily and just use that trademark. So I don't know. They need to bring back some stuff and try and update it, or they need to come out with their own IPs. And then whatever they're not going to use, absolutely give it to McFarlane. Let him do what he does. Hopefully he'll eventually take it to 6-inch scale. If he did that, Hasbro definitely wouldn't want him doing stuff. Let's see. I'm interested in the 2-pack Brood Wolverine and Lilandra. Not interested in Broke-pack Wolverine. Man, I saw that comment that you sent me and then I couldn't find it. And I hadn't heard that kind of joke in so long. It was like a flashback. I was, oh, wow. It's been a bit. Let's see. But I'm interested in Sabretooth. See, I think that Wolverine in that pack, if you give him a second look, he's got, like, his shoulders are raised. Look at me. This is raised shoulders. But his shoulders are raised a little more, especially for a Marvel Legend, where I don't know how much you see with Anthony's customs, but he does call him out on it a lot, and he's right. The shoulders are too low oftentimes on those figures. But if you look at that Wolverine, they did it so that they're up where they need to be. And I see that as an improvement. I do see that they're improving sculpting a little bit, and it has me kind of stoked. But the Brood Wolverine, I think everybody agreed, is pretty awesome too. And the Sabretooth, for myself, if he had a ball peg waist, I would definitely be a little more stoked. But he doesn't. So sadly, I may not end up with him. But we'll see. I know the one that I have to end up with is the one that's on the thumbnail because first comic. I will buy those no matter what. Let's see. Lego Angel, McFarlane Movie Maniacs. Ooh, Ash Williams, huh? I don't know. Did he do that? Or is that something that like he's got in the pipeline, or is that something you're thinking of? Because I liked his movie Maniac stuff way back when. Today, it's a lot simpler and it's not so maniacal. So who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know things. I do know that I wish McFarlane were making 6-inch DC instead of 7-inch DC. But oh well, I have my Mofex, which costs too much compared to that. And I have my tea, which is still tasty. So what does everybody think overall when it comes to Marvel Legends as a line? Is everybody kind of stoked about it? Do you see the same improvements that I'm seeing? Do you kind of see, like, one of the things that I've come to understand just because of my own work, and I'm sure you guys with your own work as well, is that there's a lot of forces fighting against them doing what they really want to do, I think. And when you listen to them, like when I was listening to them today on the live stream, I get the sense that they want the same stuff that everybody else wants, but there's a lot of things that are kind of holding them back. And that bugs me. I wish that there were those rules that they just lift them. One thing that might help if they increase the age, like go from, if they want these to be collectibles and get collectors to really be stoked about them again, maybe give them a little more paint, get that ball peg waist there, maybe even raise the price just a couple bucks. I'm not saying go crazy. I'm talking Black Widow was what, 27, 28? Get all the figures more like Black Widow, start making all these crazy improvements, and oh man, that would be the way. That would be the way. And I think they would want to do that, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sitting here saying, but yeah, now because I totally lost my train of thought. I totally went off into dream world there. But that's what I want to see. Let's see. Optimus Danger. I'm out. Marvel Legends. Let's see. All about SHF and Mofex and Figma. I do not yet have a Figma figure. I need to pick up a Figma. So any recommendations, people? I know, I'm sure LBZ, you have some. Optimus Danger. Clearly, you're a fan. So what are some recommendations on some Figma? Because I feel like I need to have one so I can compare it to other stuff. Eric, what do you have? I think some of the Legends figures are looking improved. However, I think they still are, let's see, held back by corporate restrictions. Not only corporate restrictions, but the fact that they've got safety restrictions from having to be 4 and up instead of like 8 and up. I think as much as my brain, like my wallet will compare a Marvel Legend to a Jada figure, right? And my eyes will obviously look at a Ryu versus a Darwin. Darwin's in my head because of the Anthony's Customs thing, but a Ryu versus a Darwin, and obviously Ryu smokes Darwin in every possible way, but I think they're made for 8 and up, and the licensing, I'm sure, isn't as expensive. Jada might not be pushing as high a profit margin. They don't have to deal with the same safety standards that Hasbro has to deal with because of government, because of the 4 and up. So yeah, that's where I'm sitting back just going, man, I wish I could be more critical, but I genuinely think the guys behind the counter over there that talk to all of us on the live streams want the same things we do. So I can't even give them a whole lot of crap about it. Lego Angel, have more designs, Hasbro's Toy Biz. Let's see. Are you asking which one of those has more designs, or are you saying McFarlane has more designs than those? Because I do think McFarlane's come out with more original sculpts. I think that Legends is working on it, though. I'm hoping that they come in hot. LBZ, let's see. The face sculpts look better, but they should just make the, let's see. I need to clean my glasses, but they should just make the recent Black Widow buck the standard articulation for the women. That Lalandra is totally missing the ab crunch. Yeah, you know what? I think that Black Widow would be the perfect Black Widow if she had the ball peg. I don't think that the ab crunch does much for a lot of figures. That said, I just did my review on the Hiss Tank and the Hiss Tank Gunner. She has the ball peg, but she doesn't lean forward very much with it. So is that engineering? Is that the age range that they have to work with? I'm not sure. So as much as I want to see it, maybe it's not practical, but I want to see it anyway. So screw practicality. Screw Raider facts. If they improve the bodies, let's see, Disney allows, that would help them to nail it on Legends. Yeah, that would be good stuff. And I don't know with Disney, I don't know what kind of restrictions Disney actually puts on the figures aside from character selection. I don't know if there are restrictions on how they can articulate. Maybe Disney insists that the figures are ages 4 and up instead of like ages 6 and up or something. I just don't know. That's one of the problems with trying to make direct comparisons between, like I said, your standard Marvel Legends and your standard J or your standard McFarlane or this or that, is we just don't know all the stuff behind the scenes, including what each company insists on when it comes to profit margins. But the only comparison that I really have for myself is I can look at them and just judge what I consider to be worth it and what I consider to not be worth it. And right now, Jada, totally worth it. Guys, I just got in Chester Cheetah. I think he needs to do a Hadouken. I don't know. He's pretty incredible. Anyway, let's see. LBZ, as far as Figma is concerned, see, I hear a lot of good things about the Metroid Dread. Ooh, that came out recently. Yeah, I've seen that one. I talked about it way back when. Although it's pricey, but to get a good fee to start, it's, let's see, is to get the LZ Link. Legends of Zelda Link. So Link from Figma. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Skyward Sword Link. Okay, got it. So Link and Metroid. Link and Samus. I did see that Samus. I thought she looked very cool, but I don't think I've seen the Link. Let's see. Ease off the licensing fee to entice those sales. See, and that's what I wonder. I wonder about, like, right now, because I think this is the best way to say it for me anyway. Marvel and Star Wars are not as universally loved as they once were. So I feel like if those licensing fees, like we've all heard the 20% number, that Disney takes a 20% cut of that stuff. And with the production and the fact that people don't love them like they used to, I think that fee needs to come down a little bit. On the other hand, other companies do great with the fee. So maybe it's the profit margin that Hasbro insists on that needs to come down a little bit. I don't know. This is why I'm sitting back here going, oh man, there's so many variables. My only good judgment is with the wallet and seeing, hey, that figure has a ball peg waist. I like it. That figure doesn't. I don't like it as much. So that's kind of where I'm at. Let's see. Disney prohibited selling slave figure. See, I don't know if that's true. I've heard it, I've read it, but I'm not sure that I've ever heard or seen Disney say it outright. I think Hasbro, because they've been calling her Hut Slayer Leia, maybe Hasbro just had to come up with that name before they decided what to do with it. Because I'm not sure. Like, I'll hear people say things like, and I'm sure that Disney does hold down being able to make some figures for sure. Like, I heard somebody saying, why doesn't Mafex make a Mephisto? And I'm like, if Disney says Hasbro can't make a Mephisto, they'll also say Mafex can't make a Mephisto. Now, That doesn't mean Disney has said that. I'm just using that as an example, where if Disney says this, then that's probably going to be an across the board thing. So there's that, I suppose. Let's see, SKU Rater. See, invest to be the best, better figure, better sales. Joe classified example. See, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But I don't know, once you involve shareholders, things get different. So who knows what they're going to do. But yeah, G.I. Joe, I actually think because of what they're doing with Joe's right now, that they're competing with Jada. And Jada right now is about the best you can do on the $25 price range. So the fact that I see G.I. Joe is competing, we know Hasbro can do it. So what's the holdup with the Legends and with the Black Series? It has to be Disney because those are the ones. I mean, they're both owned by Disney. So on the other hand, yeah, I don't know. There's just too much in the background. That's what I mean by I don't want to do a one-on-one comparison. All it is I can judge based on what I think is valuable and what, I don't think is valuable. Sorry about that. That just jumped. Let's see. I would love to see Mafex do 97 X-Men. I would love to see Mafex do everything. So yeah, 97 X-Men would work. I'd probably want to see him tackle the older stuff first and work into 97 X-Men, like make it a continuation, because they all had a bunch of different looks. Except, did Gambit? Yeah, Gambit had a little bit of a different look, like just different outfit going out and about. See, SKU Rater, Mafex nails a lot of the figures. Facts. Yeah, there's only 2 figures I have that are Mafex that I was disappointed with. I am legit disappointed with the Jean Grey they did. There was something with her shoulders and with the way they did her hair and the face, like basically everything from here up, totally kind of kills that figure for me. I have her, and I think she looks fine, but everything else I think is awesome. And Thor, just because of his size, he's a great Thor figure. If you're a Thor collector and everything on your wall is Thor, you definitely want that Mafex Thor. But he doesn't fit in with the other Mafex figures as well. And I use that. I know a lot of people would say he fits in just fine because of old drawings, but I'm looking at the Marvel Handbook, and the Marvel Handbook says he should be a little taller. Online, hey, I just got my email. Mafex, let's see, 12 or T2 Arnold. He looks awesome. Yes, cool. Swivel arm. I find myself wanting to get extras. Let's see. Do you have double and triple of figures? I don't have. I have like army builders. Like I have 8 stormtroopers and I have 8 Cobra troopers. And then there's a few bats. I have a couple Crimson Guards. But yeah, it's just army builders. I don't have extras. Although I do consider sometimes I'm like, man, I should probably get another Hush Superman, for instance, just because he's such a great figure. And if something happens to mine, I want to have an extra lying around. But no, right now, I don't get the extras. Let's see. Do you have pics of Mafex Dread? I've never seen that Dread. I don't, or wait. I did not read that well. Metro Dread. No, I don't. I don't know what that is even. Let's see. Let me know what it is, and I'll see if I can look it up here. Let's see if Hasbro teamed up with Jada. Look out, man. You know what makes me nervous? I heard June say that they've got another license that they're announcing, and it makes me nervous because right now I love everything I've got that's Jada, so I don't want them to branch out too fast because we all know what happens to quality that way. It's kind of one of the things that's going on with Legends. I do feel like if Legends could really bring it back and make 30 or 40 figures a year, that they'd knock every one of them out of the park. But like they have to make so many, they can't. And I don't want to see Jada fall into that trap. SKU Rater with Street Fighter, they kind of are quality and scale by accident. Yeah. They're just good. They're just good, man. Like there's not even much I can say about it, Robert. So I guess McFarlane and Super 7 will be the choice. I'd probably go Super 7. McFarlane stuff way too big. Let's see. Blocking never poses right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like their ankles. Tell me if the ankles are what throws you off. Basically, on Action Statue, one step up from Funko. Ooh, that's harsh. That's harsh. I don't want to be that mean to McFarlane Toys, and I don't think they're that bad. Let's see. I mean, I think they're improving. They're not in my collection, but I can appreciate what they're trying to do, and I do see like the Wonder Woman, for instance. I think is really good. Let's see. Would Jada do Mortal Kombat? Could Jada do Mortal Kombat? It's not Capcom, so would Capcom not want Jada to do Mortal Kombat? I don't know. Like these are things. Here's what really needs to happen. All these toy companies need to put their contracts with all their different licensors online so we could check it out and find out what we think really works and where we think the excuses are. That would help me time. But yeah, I don't know. I know that if I were Capcom and I saw how good a job Jada did, I probably would not want them doing Mortal Kombat. But who knows? They're other people. Other people might say differently. Let's see. I was Super 7 or I see Super 7 didn't fund Cobra Base ship. Nope. And so because of that, now there's a couple things there. Super 7 crushed people's wallets with a cat flare. And then people didn't know Super 7 was going to have O-rings when they started the campaign for a $500 ship, which ended just before Christmas. So there's a lot that was going against that ship anyway. So yeah, and I don't think it's really, when I saw it, it wasn't something that just screamed, "Oh my gosh, that is cool." It just screamed, "Yeah, that's all right. That'd be a cool place to store figures." So maybe that was part of it. I don't know. And again, I can only speak to what I saw. I don't know. Maybe other people saw it and thought, "Man, that thing's insane. I hope it gets funded." Obviously, I think there were over 1,000 people that did it, so there were over 1,000 people that thought it was worth it. So who knows? It is a much smaller market than I would think it was, though. Lego Angel would have said Psylocke Barbie edition. Ooh, or would have sold. Let's see. Psylocke Barbie edition. Psylocke, let's see. Marvel working with Mattel. Marvel does they still does Marvel still have the, I think Mattel was making a lot of Marvel figures came to their princess line, but I'm not sure. So let me know. I don't know. I haven't been down the princess aisle in a while. I tend to shop for my niece via Amazon these days. Let's see. They might do it. Mortal Kombat. They might. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. It would be cool, and I would have to buy them. And here's the funny part. I was a Street Fighter guy. I didn't really get into Mortal Kombat, but Jada is just that good that I would want to get them because that's how good they are. I don't know. Now I'm just double speaking, waiting to grab my tea. Ah, let's see. Storm Barbie was fire. So they did make Marvel Barbies. Ooh, that'd be cool. You know what I saw that cracked me up, guys? And this is total sidebar. I mean, it's Barbie related. So Mariah Carey or her management team leaned into the fact that everybody starts going nuts about her song during the holiday season. And they made a Mariah Carey holiday Barbie dressed up like she was in that video. And the promo pics they took made it look like it was on stage with a band next to her and everything. I thought it was hilarious because you always hear that, oh, Mariah Carey's a diva or whatever, but she has to have somewhat of a sense of humor to really lean into all that. I thought that was actually pretty cool. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not getting a Mariah Carey Barbie. I'm more of a 112 scale person. If they made her in 112th, I couldn't sit here and say obviously, but I just thought it was funny that she leaned into it. Mr. Matson, for showing up, man. Good evening. Let's see. Robert, let's see. I want a 112th detail. Arthur Morgan. Who's that? From Red Dead Redemption. Oh, that's why. I have not played video games since Halo 3. Yeah, I'm that sad. But when it came to Halo, all used to gather at a buddies of mine's basement, and we'd have like 4 TVs and 4 Xboxes hooked up, and it was 8 on 8, and it was rad. That was fun. Let's see. Skew Raider, that would be fire. 5K toys would kill those. Yeah, I need to look up some Red Dead. I need to get more into that. Guys, here's a question. Just since we're kind of just going all over the place anyway, or is that my brain? I don't have a lot of stuff outside of like Marvel, DC, Turtles. Obviously, I'm starting to load up on Street Fighter a little bit, some G.I. Joe. Outside of that, I don't have a lot. What are some pop culture staples that you think should be represented in anyone's action figure collection? Let me know. Fire away in the chat. Because right now I'm thinking a Terminator is one of those things I probably should get. I should get an Alien. I should get a Predator. I should get like Pac-Man and a Mario. You know, like I know SHF did a Pac-Man that I was tempted by. Like, what are the things that just pop culture demands that we have in our action figure collections? Let's see. Mr. Matson, I wish Jada would make Tekken figures. Is Tekken's Konami, right? I can't remember who makes Tekken. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let's see. Mariah Carey can't, let's see. Can't out diva William Shatner. That's probably true. That's probably true. Can you see? Oh, there you go. You need William Shatner to lean into the whole when he sang Rocket Man. Like somebody needs to do a figure of that. And if he does that, then I'm kind of like, all right, Shatner's the man too. He's got a good sense of humor. Although, how could he not? If you guys ever saw Boston Legal, you know that Shatman has a sense of humor. That was a fun show. Let's see. Matthew Mann, let's see. Mafex Terminator is okay. So would you say that when you say okay, is that would that be like a 5 out of 10? What are you giving him on the 10 scale? Because I feel like I need a Terminator, and I feel like Mafex is probably the go-to. If he's not, I think NECA is really the only except or the only other choice. So let me know. What does he rank for you? Skew Raider, let's see. Maybe movie, let's see. Oh, the Mario movie line was fire. Namco has Tekken. Okay, got it. Okay, so maybe Namco isn't so. I don't know. I guess it depends on what Capcom insists on. And listening to June, it kind of depends on what June digs going after too. So we'll see. It'll be exciting to hear what it is. Optimus Danger, what really happened to Transformers Masterpiece? I don't know. I can tell you my story of Transformers Masterpiece. My story, it's the last time I actually got mad about toys. And so when Shogo Hosui was the lead designer on Transformers Masterpiece, it started with MP10, which is the first scaled down Optimus Prime. And I loved that look because it wasn't all 80s all the time. You know, it was kind of a combo of a lot of different looks. And I just love that style. And then I loaded up on Masterpiece all the way until I think it was Magnus. It was Magnus with a butt flap, which was the first time you saw, whoa, they're really leaning into cartoon here, because what Shogo Hasui was able to do was make all those weird design decisions work because they weren't being totally faithful to the cartoon. Then the butt flap happened, and then Trax was totally his thing, and then Ironhide had the hip panels, and I'm going, wait, this isn't the line that I started collecting, so I got ticked off enough where I sold all my Masterpiece figures, except my folks ordered me MP1 when he first came out. And I was so stoked about that figure that he still sits atop my collection. And to answer the question, what one figure would you save in a fire? That would be the one. Let's see, just because everybody asks that. Let's see, 6 to 7 out of 10. Ouch. All right, Madsen, what's wrong with that Terminator? And if he's that low, should I get the NECA version instead? Or do you not have them? I see, these are things I don't know. Skew Raider, let's see. Get cool pop lines, but only if they were done well enough. Mafex Terminator example. Okay. See, I'm just talking character specific. Like, let's see. Deadpool defeat Deathstroke. Sometimes the original is not always the best. I mean, I won't argue with that. I do like Deadpool a lot more than Deathstroke. Deathstroke's cool, though. It's just kind of my own sense of things. See, Robert, I'm mainly into 1/6 figures, but I like movie. See, like movie icons and want to see 112 scale figures of movie icons, Eastwood, Stallone, Arnold, Jean-Claude, etc. Man, I would love like a Dirty Harry 112. That'd be awesome. Anything Unforgiven, or so my two favorite westerns are Tombstone and Unforgiven. If they made any of those characters in 112 scale, I'd go crazy. I'd load up on those lines. Let's see. Robert, just got mine. Let's see, you're T2. Have the figure, but hate no swivel arm. Is so with the no swivel arm, is it that it doesn't have bicep swivel? Because sometimes, what was the figure came across that was like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. There was one that it felt like they got all the turn they needed with just the bicep or with just the shoulder joints almost, but I can't remember who it was. So yeah, if it doesn't have bicep swivel, that's gonna be unfortunate. Let's see. Probably a 7 or 8 because no swivel. Indy would be my 10. Let's see. My 10 fills out the icons for me. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need that SHF Indy. Everybody keeps saying it. I'm going to need them. Let's see. That Mafex Terminator is very nice. I'd give it an 8 out of 10, but I haven't touched the T2 version, only the first film version. See, the NECAs look great and have nice accessories. I have them too. Okay. Now, obviously, let's see, with NECA, like they're just now starting to really move their articulation forward a little bit. So even though the T2 version doesn't have the swivel, like how limited are the NECAs with articulation? That's what I'm really trying to ask, I suppose. Robert, let's see, I have the NECA, but 2 points more on Mafex T2. Okay. Got it. Let's see. I love some new Rocky figures. Ooh, Rocky. There's another culture figure that you have to have. You have to have him. Do you need Rambo? Is Rambo a pop culture icon? Obviously, Rocky is, but would count Rambo in there. Let's see. Stan Lee, he was interviewed. Let's see. In Who Waypoint. Huh. I do have a Stan Lee figure. He's good stuff. Let's see. That's why I need a Kirby figure too. Maybe then I can get like a boxing ring or something. Let's see. I want a 112 Mafex, Stallone Dread, Urban Dread. Oh, both of them, huh? I don't know my Judge Dredd like I should either. Comic Dread. Okay. Then Skew Raider. Hi is making Rambo 112. See, I know. I saw that and thought, oh man, that looks pretty cool. It looks like the boots kind of hinder ankle articulation, but I'm not sure. But again, like, is he big enough when it comes to pop culture that I'd want him, or do you hold out for Rocky? Like Mattel made a Muhammad Ali just recently in one of their exclusive sets. That's pop culture. You need a Muhammad Ali. I, of course, don't have that because I was sleeping on that day, apparently. But yeah, I'm probably going to end up having to find that. So, like, I kind of want to expand into a little more of a pop culture collection once Toypixx starts crushing it a little bit. And that'd be fun for me. Let's see. NECA Kirby is coming out. Not sure scale or style. NECA Kirby is the Mirage line. They had pictures of him at, was it SDCC? Might have been SDCC. It was whatever show that they also, no, wait, Kirby was after that. Because SDCC was Rat King and Leatherhead that we saw that were really good for the Mirage line. So I think Kirby was later, but yeah, we have seen him, and he's done in the Mirage style. So he's not going to match perfectly with a Legend Stan, but you need to have Stan and Jack, I think. So I'm totally getting that Kirby. Plus, I'm going to go in a little more on that Mirage TMNT line because that's good stuff. Lego Angel. Marvel Legends, 30 centimeters, only have 7 figures. So you're saying you only have 7 figures? Which ones are they? Because it would be fun to find out. Let's see. Robert, Mafex Rambo or SH Figuarts Rambo. I think SH Figuarts would do it. They did good on, let's see, No Luke and Indy. Yep. I mean, I'm sure they could do it, no doubt. Like, I needed Goku. Goku is pop culture. I needed Goku, but I don't know which Goku to get, you know? It's that kind of thing. But yeah, again, though, Rocky or Rambo, which one's bigger in the pop culture sphere? I would argue it's probably Rocky. And so, has there been a good 112 scale Rocky? These are things I don't know. And I have to find answers. Clearly, now. Eric, let's see. Do you have a Hulk Hogan? He's pretty big pop culture. You're right. You're right. And obviously, there are plenty of Hulkamaniacs and Hulksters out there. So I probably should find him. Him and Mr. T. I wonder, though, does Mr. T qualify? I got to figure that out. Let's see. Gojira. Yep. I definitely need a Godzilla. The one that Super 7 just showed, incredible. And has everybody seen -1? Because I've heard good things. And I'm kind of curious, and I've never seen a Godzilla movie, but it sounds like people are saying that's the best one ever. So it feels like a one and done. I can watch that and be totally good. Skew Raider, getting that Kirby. He's iconic. Facts. Yeah, for sure, man. And he's gonna look great with the turtles. Did you guys read that story where basically Donatello runs into, I think Kirby was a neighbor in April's apartment building, and he goes down to check on stuff. And basically what it was, because he saw this weird creature flying around, and Donatello tracked him to this room or this apartment that Kirby lived in. And what it was Kirby's drawings were coming to life. And it was just a really cool story. And you felt like this would be a Jack Kirby kind of thing. It was pretty cool. I think they did that in the 2003 Turtles show too. They had another episode that was similar to that. Let's see. Robert, I also, let's see, love a 112 scale. Herbert West from Reanimator, the horror icon. Man, this is me. See, this is me not knowing my horror at all. I don't know who Herbert West is, and I've never even heard of Reanimator. Got to figure that out. Let's see. 112 Leslie Nail. Yes, yes. I would load up on a 112 scale Leslie Nielsen. So do you want the Naked Gun version or do you want the airplane version? Because I think we'd have to argue that the pop culture version would be airplane, though Naked Gun was hilarious. That was the stuff. Like, I loaded up on those shows and the movies. Like, I didn't even know it was a series. I watched those show or the movie, and then I'm like, wait, there's Police Squad too? And so I found those and was stoked about it. Storm Collectibles did a decent Hogan. Mattel has come back pretty well, I'd say, on the recent ones. The Elites. Are there any wrestling figures that Mattel does that have ball pegs? I know that's silly. Well, maybe not silly because it's me. I'm curious about that. Let's see, LBZ. I've had the Mafex Damaged T2 version for a long while now, and he's fun and looks really good, or really nice. 8 out of 10. Okay. Okay. All right. We're getting there. I might need that. Haya's making Rambo. I saw that Haya was making Rambo, but like, I'm wondering does he really have his place in pop culture compared to Rocky? Because how many Stallones does one need? I'm seeing Godzilla -1 on Saturday. I've only heard good things about it. Same here. And that's why I'm kind of curious about it. And I'm pretty sure I don't know anyone that I could talk into going. So I'd have to be like, all right, well, maybe I'll just grab a ticket and see a matinee. I'd be that guy just hiding. But then maybe I'd be the only one in the theater, which would also be very weird. Not a lot of people load up on the movies here. Let's see. LBZ, I'm looking forward to the Moffat RoboCop 1 and 2 re-release. Yeah, I kind of want to check those. RoboCop qualifies, I think, in the pop culture sphere. I still need to see it. People keep giving me crap because I haven't, and it's well-deserved because I totally should have by now. See, Storm Collectibles also did Mike Tyson. Oh, see, yeah, now we're getting pop culture-y. Muhammad Ali, Mattel did a pretty good job on the Mr. T. Look up the SDCC exclusive as well as the store normal one. I saw the store at one point because he and Hulk Hogan were released in the same kind of pack, I believe. Let's see, the NECA head sculpt for Clubber Lang Fire. Really? Oh man, but I'm not sure Clubber qualifies. But Mr. T, see, I feel like Mr. T was kind of a staple of the 80s. Like maybe he does qualify, you know? See, not into Goku. See, confusing. On the plus, I could always paint his hair over and over. This is true. This is true. Red version, blue version, yellow version, black version. See, hell yeah, Misty qualifies. Come on, Pooh. Okay, all right, I see. I hear you. I got you. See, 112 A team. You need a Murdoch. Clearly, I gravitate towards the crazy characters. You need a Murdoch if you're going to bust out the A team. And that's going to show that you care. No, you know what? If you're going to prove that you're going to have longevity for an A team line, you bust out Face. Because nobody really cared. I mean, Face was just the guy that got in because he could smile. And I mean, that's great. It's a great habit to have. It's a great attribute. I'm working on it. But when it comes to like Murdoch and Hannibal and Mr. T, those are the ones like BA. Those are the guys that are going to sell the line. Although Hannibal would probably be next. You want to save Mr. T for last, I think. Let's see. Bread Bond from Ramen Toy has the van. Let's see. Nice sculpts for the A team one out there too. Yeah, man. Oh, the bread van. That's right. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if Ramen would do would do A team figures, or at least start with BA. Let's see, Ash Williams is unstable after Deadpool. Huh. I need to look into more Ash Williams. That's Escape from no, wait, what am I thinking? Ash. Good Lord, guys. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Help me out. All right. Let's see. For the best Mr. T head sculpt. Which one was that? Sorry, Ski Raider. Let's see. Let's go back out there too. Nice sculpts for the A team. Okay. Ski Raider, the long head. Okay. Robert. I have a special love for the old Barney looking with the wrestling moves Godzilla from the 70s. I don't think I've seen that. I'll have to find that. I'll have to see what I can see when it comes to that. All right, gents. Looks like conversation slowing down. It is 8:26, so I went a little longer, and I am happy to go longer as long as people keep chatting. So, oh, we got one more here. Let's see. Ooh, swap out face head sculpt. Put on it Starbuck. See, now you're just talking crazy. Starbuck. That was Battlestar Galactica, right? Now I've always said I'm a bad nerd. My problem is I don't do a lot of sci-fi aside from Star Wars. So yeah, me, bad nerd. I'm also not a sword and sorcery guy, which probably explains why I haven't really gotten into Motu till now. Let's see. He met the Clubber Lang head is the best Mr. T. Oh, okay, got it. Appreciate it. Evil Dead. Yeah, why was I not? It was right there. And I've never even seen Evil Dead. Again, bad nerd, but I knew he was from that, and I just couldn't come up with all the stuff. Let's see, awesome stream. Thanks. All right, have a good one, guys. Let's see. McFarlane Star Wars Black Series and NECA still made in China. That's true. But again, China and I don't know. I need to see more figures come out of Mexico, I guess. But if they're better quality, that probably means higher price. And that probably means companies aren't too eager to get there. So that's the trick. I mean, I do agree. I would prefer figures were made elsewhere. But right now, almost everything comes out of China. So we'll see. We'll see if somebody can step it up or if we're all willing to pay our money if the U.S. does it, because that's what it's going to come down to. Anyway, all right, guys, on that note, I'm out of here. And in the next one, we'll see. Maybe we can go 2 hours. I'll get crazy. But with that said, have fun and happy snapping. See ya. As soon as I hit end stream.